A very warm welcome to our session here. We are very excited to have you joining us in SkillsFuture Money at SIT. I'm Cindy, an undergraduate student from SIT. I'll be a student host for this session. The title of this session is Harnessing Data Analytics. We are honored to have our speaker from NYP, Mr. Aloysius Tong, who will be speaking to us. Mr. Aloysius Tong has been a lecturer with Nanyang Polytechnic's Information Technology for the 21 years and was involved in teaching networking, software engineering, web development, mobile development, and data analytic tools such as QlikSense. He is also involved in organizing training courses like data visualization and data analytics for workplace, for companies, and the public. Without further ado, let us welcome our speaker, Mr. Aloysius Tong.
Hello everyone, welcome to this talk on harnessing data analytics. As you know, this is about data analytics and this is a new thing. It's not that new, but it has been around some few years now. But it is gathering a lot of momentum and a lot of interest has been plowed into this topic on data analytics. And recently, there's also an added interest in artificial intelligence, which also encompasses part of data analytics like machine learning as well as text analytics. And it's also video analytics, which is becoming very popular. So without further ado, I'll just start off my presentation on this topic. Yeah. Okay, as you know about me, I'm a senior lecturer here in Nanyang Polytechnic. I've been here for that was mentioned, 21 years already. But most importantly is that I have also been involved in teaching as well as organizing courses for the public as well as companies in the area of continuing education and training. And data analytics is truly one of our most popular courses that we have conducted. At the end of this talk, I will share with you the different kinds of data analytics courses we have in Nanyang Polytechnic. And you're also free to inquire or write to me in my email address. You can get it off from the website at Nanyang Polytechnic and look for staff directory, and you can look for Aloysius Tong, that's me, and that's you can write an email to me, and I can also entertain you over the email about and give you more details of data analytics. Okay, so if in 1 minute that we have already been in this talk for about 2 minutes already. So in 1 minute alone, or in 60 seconds, these are the data that has been transacted. All right. So if you look at it, you can see that Netflix, the 266,000 hours have been watched in that 1 minute. Google, there are 3.7 million searches. All right. And Facebook has 973,000 of logins already in that 1 minute. In all, 4.2 billion people would have actively been engaged in social media worldwide. Data coming in from January 2021. All right, so in just 1 day, you're going to get 4.2 billion people already engaging in data, transacting of data, looking at information, doing searches. All right, so that is a lot of data. It is voluminous, right? And is the Singapore government itself going big on data analytics? How about the country alone? Are we going big on data analytics? Well, let's take a look at this. $1.4 billion has been spent, all right, on data analytics alone. Yeah, and what kind of use are there for data analytics, right? If you look at the number of people that gets out of the MRT station, or the number of taxi drop-offs that are in the CBD area during peak hours, how does that affect our economic health? These are information that would be very interesting to not only the government, okay, to all the research institutions. The relationship, right, between MRT stations with taxi drop-offs and with and how it affects and how it uh, impacts our economy, is data from that we receive, will that be useful? And the answer is yes, it is going to be useful. Right. Another area, any correlation between consumption of electricity as well as with and how does it affect our GDP? Is there a correlation? There's an interesting thing to look at too. How about we look at the narrative on data? Are there some of the parameters that could help shed light on the state of our economy? So, if we collect all this data, there must be some use for this data. And how can we analyze the data if we could to give us a clear picture? And the government would be very, very interested in looking at it, right? So I give you an example. Um, LTA, all right, the agency that uses quite a lot of data for their use for their analysis, um, uses the 1 million logins per day on the wireless at SG public Wi-Fi network. So what has the wireless um, at SG public Wi-Fi network logins affect the usage of land transport? Okay, the relationship is this. It, LTA has implemented or has actually introduced Wi-Fi login at its 33 stations sometime in October 2015. I know it's a few years ago. The data that they collected, all right, helps to generate the platform for LTA about the heat map in real time. What I mean by heat map means how many people are actually at the platform waiting to take trains. This can enable LTA actually to dynamically inject trains where it is necessary. All right. So if it's above the usual crowd and they know that they need more trains, then they will actually put in more trains in service. All right. Same for buses. Same for buses. Arrival times are tracked using sensors installed in over 5,000 vehicles. This will transmit real-time location data of these buses to a central command center where predictive analytics will be carried out to better match the supply with the demand. So this is how data analytics can be used. All right, and this is how data analytics is actually being used right now in Singapore. Okay, now you take a minute to ponder. All right, take a minute to ponder, and if while you're pondering, can you just scan this code? Scan this code and key in this number 3545010. How does then, after I just talk about our data analytics, now do you think can it relate to you? As a person, as a member of the public or of an institution, how can this actually relate to you? All right, if you can do that, that would be great. Do you all have it? Can you all see? Yeah, so I'm seeing some things are coming up. We have, okay, data analytics. Someone put it as we're able to study consumer patterns. Yes, things are coming up, right? So you can avoid losses. Okay, so this is how it can help in your businesses. That's very good. That's a very good thought about it. Give you insights. True. Mm. And yes, and more as you can see in this word cloud, the words are coming out. But I can see that the main one is actually insights because insight is the has the it has the biggest font, and right in the middle. So insights is mainly a lot means a lot of you feel that data analytics gives us insights, and there are some very interesting ones like finding trends. Yeah, That's true. That's what it's being used for. Um, Looking at how company perform. Actually, not into looking at how company perform, but how it can help company to do better. Right? Data analysis can be used for that area. Okay, prediction is, yes, that's in predictive analytics. And you want to see in the future with the present data that you have, how can you predict the trends that's coming? Is one area that can be looked into. Yes, um, I'm actually very impressed by the by the cloud that has been generated here, the word cloud has been generated here, because I can tell that a lot of you do have do are in the know of what data analytics is, which is very good, or at least you're beginning to know and see what data analytics can help. So I shall stop this for the moment, and then I'll go back to my presentation. Right. So that is a few words that have been brought up. I can remember would be insights, patterns, prediction, performance, and a few. Right. So there's a lot of thoughts that will be coming in of how data analytics can be used and why is it useful, or why we need it. Right. Okay. So let's hear from the expert. What truly is data analytics for, right?
Data analytics decoded in 60 seconds. What is data analytics? Data analytics is a process of examining data sets in order to draw conclusions about the information they contain. It refers to qualitative and quantitative techniques and processes used to enhance productivity and business gain. Why data analytics? Data analytics technologies and techniques are widely used in commercial industries to enable organizations to make more informed business decisions, and by scientists and researchers to verify or disprove scientific models, theories, and hypotheses. A huge amount of data is congregated in an overwhelming volume. It is then segregated, integrated, and modeled in an insightful way to make it easy to utilize in a snap. How does data analytics work? The analytics process starts with data collection, in which data scientists identify the information they need for a particular analytics and then assemble it for use. Applications of data analytics. Data analytics is everywhere, from large food businesses like McDonald's to tech giants like HP. But what's also interesting is healthcare sectors are progressively implementing data analytics for a variety of reasons.
Data analytics has a certain process, right? There's a certain process in
Data analytics decoded in
So that's what it is, right? So there's a certain process by which data analytics follow, and you can see that it is really a scientific process. It transforms data into insights. So someone mentioned insight, or a lot of you mentioned about insights in the word cloud. Yes, in the Mentimeter word clouds. Yes, so it's correct, right? It transforms data for us so that we can have insights uh, into what this data is about, and it helps us to make better decisions. And that is the main aim, right? If it provides insights, we want to have the ability to make decisions based on these insights that we get. All right, it is used for data-driven or fact-based decision making. So it is not something that is half-puff, up in the air. It's not just a hypothesis that we just conjure as we walk along or think along, but it is really hard facts that we want to get from the data that has been harnessed. All right, and then through it we can see that through it we can try to make more objective decisions that will help, in fact, wanting to help to improve the performance of the company, or maybe in the in the performance of the transport system, or so on, to make things to have hard data that we can use to help us to make the kind of decision, and also to predict what is going to come later on. So the next step in the scientific method is actually to analyze the data. All right. So in this scientific method we're talking about, it helps us to analyze the data. So data analysis would then be the process of interpreting the meaning of the data that we have collected, and that is very important. When we collect data, or for data analytics purposes, we want to be able to interpret those data. Or else, if we cannot interpret those data, or we do not know how to interpret the data that we collected, then there is no use to collect those data, right? And when we are able to interpret the meaning of that data that we collected, we are also must be able then also to organize those data, and more importantly, display them in a visible form that's easy to read, easy to understand. That would then, of course, to be in a table or a graph, right? Okay, so this leads us to the next topic about data analytics, which is data visualization. So we can get data. We get data from out in the internet. We can get data out as we collect information when customers come to register or so on, or when they put in some suggestions or recommendations or some complaints, and we collect those information, those data that customers have input. Then when all this data in abundance, what then should we do? We want to be able to visualize the data in a useful form so that we can perform what we call a good analysis, right? So in data visualization, it is therefore the process by which that we are able to use the data to analyze it, understand it better, and then present it in such a way that we are able to see very clearly, all right, what the whole data actually represents. So let's take a look at this. If I ask you a question, what is the most unprofitable product in a subcategory? So if you look at the subcategory which is here, right? This is a subcategory. So of this subcategory, which one is the most unprofitable? It is not easy, right? It is not easy to tell, right? Because they are all numbers. Okay, we can't. Our eyes are not trained to see those numbers and pick it up so quickly. So what we need is actually a chart, of course. But let's take a look at it. If it's done in this way, then can we see which is the most unprofitable product in the subcategory? Here we can tell then that this product tables is not very profitable because every single segment of customers is loss is incurred, right? And in fact, the loss is quite big, it's quite huge. Even bookcases, there are losses, but it's considerably small or considerably smaller. All right, same for the rest. So this is the representation, right? You can see it because it's clear, right? Now, how about this? When we ask the question, who is really playing Pokemon right now, right? So we have this information. In gender form, we have 37%, 63% male, 37% of male, 63% of female, and by income group and by age group, right? Okay, let's talk about Pokemon Go. So maybe a lot of you are wondering, Pokemon Go, isn't that something that's quite a few years ago? But actually, Pokemon Go is still going very strong. Okay, the game has been downloaded more than 1 billion times and generated over 3 billion in revenue for the company. Okay, and just in 2020 alone, it actually generated about close to 2 billion in revenue. Okay, so it is not a small contributor. It is a very big contributor. It's on the big games around actually, and people still play Pokemon Go. But I believe it's also because of the pandemic. You've got nothing to do, so more people are playing games, and so Pokemon Go is also one of those that has been played quite often. So by looking at this data like that, which is in numbers and in words, it's hard. It's very difficult to tell. Okay, but if it's presented in an infographic form like this, now we are able to see quite clearly, right? Okay, by gender, we can say that the female plays more females play Pokemon Go than males, and not only that, the largest income group is actually the largest players. Okay, the largest group of players are actually in the income group that is in between the that is the less than 50K income group. All right. Okay. And based on ages, 46% is actually between 18 to 29. So what can we decipher from this? Okay. If you look at the infographic, we look at it immediately, we can tell. All right. Firstly, because of the colors, so attracted by the colors. We see the color red, and that attracts us. So it sort of highlight that section, the segment. If you look at the chart here, okay, the line chart here, or the bar chart here, you can tell immediately that it is 46% again, which in the players, the mainly 46% of the players are in the ages of 18 to 29. So again, we can tell very decisively that this is the largest group of players, the 18 to 29 years age group, right? So infographics in this way, the presentation makes it easy for us, right? It does make it easier for us to see and capture immediately. I'll give you another example. You look at, there are three infographics here, different on different things. The first one is on road traffic accident statistic last year. The second is on the crimes, okay, crime rate and what kind of crimes that are most popular, or not most popular, that occurred most often. And then the third one has nothing to do with the Singapore Police Force, something about childhood development, all right? If you look at this again, the infographics tells a very detailed story, and it gives us a quick glance and information that we want or require immediately. So example, we can tell from here that there are lesser accidents in 2020 than in 2019, right? And here tells us that it is down by 28.9%, okay? And accidents that are resulted in injuries, of course, since there are more accidents, we will expect more injuries. But then the injury has gone down by 29%. So yeah, we are good at getting there. So based on these infographics, we can make inferences like that very easily, right? Same for here, right? All the rest, all the other crimes has gone down, except for one. This is from 2019, except for one, which has gone up by 54.2%. That will be the loan and credit for sex scams. Only scams has gone up, okay? Scams have gone up. E-commerce scams also have gone up, right? So for childhood, same thing. We can see that trends in the sector based on you can look at it here. Then the early childhood landscape, we have infographics of that segment here, and then there are other information is below. Okay, so what we can conclude from here is that infographics representation is definitely required, yeah, to help us to make better decisions. Okay, so why is data visualization then gaining importance? There are actually 2.5 quintillion bytes of data created each day. That's how much information has been created. Okay, 2.5 quintillion. Now the question is, what is quintillion? A quintillion is actually equivalent to 1 billion billion, or 1 million million million. That's, if you more comfortable with millions. So it is 1 million of a million of a million. Okay, so that's how much it is, 2.5 quintillion. It is therefore 3, 6, 9, 10, 12, about 15 zeros, okay, in 1 quintillion. So there's a data explosion. This is what it is, right? A data explosion. Humans are visual beings. That is understood because we when we see pictures, we get the feeling better than we see words, right? And there's a need to harness this data for better decision, right? So we need to get a quick look at the picture and know what it is, and then immediately make the decision, and not and not be taken in, right? Right. So what kind of data visualization tools are there then in here? So these are some of the common ones, or the more popular ones. We in our polytechnic, we actually teaches the tools Power BI, Tableau, QlikSense. All right, Excel, of course, everyone must need to know how to use it. There's some data visualization. There's some charts you can use in Excel. So, but these are the three main ones that are actually quite popular. Of course, there's another one by SAS. There's another company in data analytics. And if you look at which one is free, okay, some of them are free. Tableau Public is a free tool that is offered by Tableau. Okay, it is not. It is not that. It is that Tableau Public is not the full suite of Tableau, but it is already very good enough. It's a good enough tool, all right, to be downloaded. I mean, you can download for it for free. That's why it's called Tableau Public, all right. But there's only one caveat to the download. They want you to be able. They state that whatever you create in Tableau Public, it is supposed to be accessible by everyone in the public area. Okay, which means it is not private. I mean, you cannot keep it only for yourself. It is open to everyone. The Tableau Gallery is also another free tool, right? And you don't need to download the tool. Okay, the Tableau Gallery is also very cool. Okay, because you don't need to download the tool nor use it to benefit from the gallery. Every visualization here can be downloaded into a document and then or email, and then you can make use of the Tableau Gallery to actually show what you have created. Okay, the visualization of the data. All right, so these two I would mention. The other one that's free, which is also very commonly used, is actually Power BI. Okay, Power BI is also free for download. Okay. Okay, so how does data visualization actually really work? First, what you need to do is to get your data prepared. You need to go through the process called data preparation, by which usually the data will be coming in a CSV format. CSV format, which is a text format. And this text format, you must clean it first, right? Because some data are repetitive, or some data, for example, dollars, in the column of dollars. So some they have the dollar sign there, some don't have the dollar sign there. So it depends on how you want the data to be represented. So, or some has decimal points, some don't have decimal points. So yeah, so you have to clean up the data a bit. You have to do some cleaning. After the cleaning is done, after the data has been cleaned and it is and then there is no repetition and so on, then you feed it into the data visualization tool. Like in this case, I have an example here will be the Power BI. And after it goes into that, after your Power BI import the CSV file, all right, then you can start to do your visualization. So now here, this is where the work is. This is where the work is, because then here you have to, of course, already decide prior that what is the thing that you need. Okay, what is the information you want to show to make it visual. So these are the decisions you have to make already before you actually start on this project, right? Now, actually, if you ask a lot of data scientists, they will tell you that the data preparation part takes up a very, very long time. It takes up a bulk of their work. Okay, it takes up a bulk of the time of their work. The putting it into the story, it actually or a storyboard in this sense, using the data visualization tool, is not that bad. It is actually faster. Okay, it's actually faster. Then after you have gone through this Power BI, then you start to after you have imported it into a data visualization tool like the Power BI, then you have prepared all the questions that you want, the problem statements that you want to address. Then you start to generate the tool, the charts. All right, and of course you have to. Again, there are many charts that are available in this data visualization tool. You then have to be able to know what are the charts that are useful. All right, and in the data visualization world, there are two things that you'll come across. It's called dimensions and measures. So let's take a look at this video. Yeah. This will
Hi, I'm Jared Hillam. Often when business and IT come into the same room and begin talking, there are breaking points where the business gets lost in the technical terminology. When it comes to data, I've noticed that this breaking point often starts when the words dimensions, measures, hierarchies, and grain are used. This short video is meant to provide some clarity as to what these items are. First, let's talk about dimensions. Imagine somebody presented to you an architectural model of a building. The first thing you'd likely do is walk around the model to get a different point of view. The same is true for navigating data. For example, you might want to see product performance over time, then get a different point of view and see regional performance over time. These represent perspectives, which we technically term as dimensions. Dimensions can be anything which can consistently categorize your data and provide you with a better point of view. Here's a common list of dimensions you might find in your business. Now, dimensions by themselves make great lists, but they don't tell us much without marrying them with some measures. Measures are the numerical values that can be added up to provide some meaning to your dimensions. Good examples of measures are revenue, cost, quantity, etc. So now let's say that you're navigating and investigating the data, but you want to go deeper into a region and look into individual countries and possibly drill into some states. This is where hierarchies come into the picture. Hierarchies break down the dimensions into navigational paths, which you can use to get a more granular level detail in the data. And this brings up a good question. How granular or how detailed do you want your data to be? See, the deeper down you go, the more data you have to both account for in your project and calculate for the end users. So commonly, a level of depth must be agreed upon, which we refer to as the grain of the data. The lowest possible grain of data is at the individual transaction level. At Intricity, we put a great deal of effort in bridging the technical conversation so that it's meaningful to the business. We also take the time to understand your business beyond the headlines. This simplifies the complexity so that the people that are funding the project are aware of what they're getting and how it's going to impact the day-to-day operations. I encourage you to visit Intricity's website and talk with one of our specialists. We hope to have an opportunity to work with you to build your next success story. Hi, I'm Jared Hillam. Often when business and IT
All right, so you have things like things to look into when you starting to put it into the data visualization tool. You have to know that there's a difference between measures and dimensions, because this is how the tool will look at it. All right, because what we know, let's say in our mathematical, when we learn mathematics in the olden days, we learn about the x-axis and y-axis, right? So we learn certain parameters that are required for graphing. So in data analytics tools like data visualization tools like maybe Power BI and QlikSense and so on, they term it as measures and dimensions. Okay. So what is then the difference between measure and a dimension? So dimensions is qualitative. They do not total a sum. So you don't total account. It's just a qualitative number. So example, sales, the employee or the location, all these are what we call dimensions. Then measures is actually a numerical value where you can use a mathematical function to work on it. So example, total sales revenue is one column, you call a measure. So the to be able to identify the tool is an important aspect. Okay, and this we will teach you if you do want to explore this more, data analytics more, especially in data visualization. We can actually we will actually teach you when you come for our short course, with SkillsFuture short courses that we put up, that we have, okay, right in our NYP. All right. So another thing that we will also teach you is about what's the best practices for designing a dashboard. Okay. For example, these are the rules that you go by. Choose the correct chart. Okay. You choose the wrong chart to visualize certain data information. It is not going to help. Okay. And we also propose that you don't make it too complicated. Okay, make it a bit simple so that people can easily get the gist of what you want to say, and also use attributes to try and draw their attention. Then don't have special effects, like fading in, fading out, that kind of thing, right? And don't also try to avoid 3D because sometimes it will block certain views and make it even more difficult to see. And you have to provide viewer the ability to filter. So which means that the viewer can choose certain information and say, I want to see only that information. So you filter the rest away. And so it will not appear there. All right. And of course, color has to be carefully used. All right. So the correct chart that you need to choose, for example, bar charts. So what is a bar charts? Effective for comparing categories. And of course, don't choose categories you want to compare like across, let's say, 200 categories of products. Then it becomes like, oh, how? There just in 1 year you have 200, another year you have another 200. Then it becomes too complicated. So again, how you choose the data that you want to show, you have to choose it wisely. Bullet charts. The second one, which is bullet charts, it shows what's the progress. So you can see, for example, like we had one bullet chart that we show for Pokemon Go, which age group is the large has the plays the most, or that has the most players. So that was the 18 to 25-year age group, which was 46%. If you remember that, that was using a bullet chart. All right. And then line graph is connecting several distinct data points. This one to connect several distinct data points so that it is a simple way that you want to visualize a certain change in one of the values, the change in that category. Okay, and then yeah, okay, histograms and box is another one that is also available that you can choose to look at, and shows how your data are being clustered. Okay, so this is example of too much, all right, in one chart. So if you go along here, you find that, okay, color, no background, take away, all right, and then you don't want to the color take away, you want to remove some of the labels, and then the redundant ones also take away. Okay, and then okay, the grids, it confuses us, so take that away. All right, and then also the colors, reduce the number of colors, and then you get something that is easily presented. All right, so what is you can see from here is that you're keeping it simple. Okay, and you follow the principle of less is more, actually. Yeah. Okay, using pre-attentive attributes to draw your attention. Colors, add emphasis, but be careful, don't have too many colors. So you just use one color to highlight, and the rest you can gray it if you want. Okay, then avoid using special effects. Don't go for 3D, like I mentioned. And then remember to use color with care. All right, like for this is too complicated, and you don't want that. All right, too many information trying to put into one. All right. and provide the viewer the ability to filter, that is able to choose what he wants and then able to see only those data that he requires. Okay. All right. So just to quickly round up, what do we offer at NYP? We do have this course called SG United SkillsFuture program. It gives you the certificate in ICT and is in the area of cybersecurity and data analytics. Okay. This is the entry requirement for SG United. If you're interested, just write me an email. All right. This is for those who are already started working, but they want to make a switch. They want to make a change in a different emphasis. They want to go for a different job prospect. So this is one of them that you can do. The short courses, these are all SkillsFuture series courses. Data visualization practicum is one of them. This is the one that is only 1 day, all right, and it will teach you about data visualization tools that teach you how to create dashboards and also create charts. Yeah. The next one we have is the data analytics for workplace. If you are new, you're novice into this area of data analytics, then go for this course first. Okay, go for this 1 day course first. Data analytics for workplace. All right, then choose data visualization as the second course to go, because data analytics for workplace will give you an overview of what data analytics is about and what are the different kinds of data management, analytical techniques that are available, as well as the differences in descriptive diagnostics and predictive analytics, so that you know what they are, the graduation of analytics. And then after that, you finish this course, you then can go for the other one, which is the data visualization practicum. All right. Thank you for your kind attention. I'm now open for any questions. You can put the questions into the live Q&A option. You can choose that, and then and then I try and answer you. Oh, yeah, I have a couple on in the this is in the discussion forum. Okay, let me see. What is the code again? What do you mean by code? Raihan, can you give me more details? Oh, sorry, you're asking Cindy. Okay, we have a question that asks, are the courses online? Yes, they are both online and in face-to-face, depending on the situation. But yes, we have conducted both courses, data analytics for workplace, as well as the data visualization practicum online. Yeah, we have done that also. So they are in two modes. They are available in two modes. Okay, any other questions? Oh, is it? Will you be able to advise which data analytics program is most suitable for a non-profit organization or mid-sized law firm to monitor? Then my answer to that question would be you can choose Microsoft's Power BI. Then you can use Excel, which actually every organization has, to do the data cleaning and data preparation, and then feed it to the Microsoft Power BI, like the diagram that I had in my presentation. You can use that because Power BI is free. Yeah. Okay. I hope I answered that question. The second question was, I can use Excel Tableau to churn my figures and graphs. What accessible tools are there to make the nice, snazzy pictorial designs and icons? Okay, Tableau should be able to do quite nice stuff. It's like quite fancy stuff because but depends on which Tableau are you using. All right. The Tableau will be able to actually give you uh, a very good dashboard, a good enough dashboard, and also and I believe and also Tableau also allows you to do storyboarding with it. Okay, I have another question. Will you be able to advise which data analysis program is most suitable? This is the one I already answered. Okay, yeah, I think I answered. Okay, yeah, sorry, this is another one. While trying to convey the message simply, what are some rules to not break, to not be accused of fudging the data? Example, takeaway, using different scales such as traffic accident into graphic. Okay, while trying to convey the message, I think firstly try to make it simple. The presentation should be simple, and then choose your scales wisely, um, so that it covers the full spectrum, which means the minimum right up to the maximum is covered. All right, and then and the color bars that you want to highlight, of course, to be accentuated. The rest you dull it, and yeah, just stick to the data, because the data is already you're prepared, right? And then you fit it into your tool. And so your tool uses whatever data you have fed in. So you need to make sure that when you do your data preparation, that they are not that they are clean properly. So that is why it takes the longest time to actually prepare your data, to be fed into your data visualization tool. Okay. Okay, I think I have one more to answer this question. How do you do data cleaning? Do I have to delete? Um, you don't really have to delete rows and columns, but you don't have to delete the columns, but you might have to delete the rows because some rows are repeated. So you have to go through your data, ensure that there are no repetition, ensure that each row of the data is, for example, if it's numbers only, then it's numbers, then it's not text. And then if it's a date, then it's a date field, it's properly, and it's not other fields, because sometimes there's some mixed up. And then just make sure that your data is, yeah, in that sense, you're cleaning it. So yeah, and you must also understand it will take you the longest time. If you take too fast a time, you take a very quick time to finish it, it is not properly clean. So you have to do it. You have to give more time to it. Okay. May I know any advanced courses? Yes, there are. There are 4 days of machine learning, as well as text analytics. But that you have to send a request to us, and then we will see whether we can run it, because we also have a minimum number to meet. These are 4 days. They are SF series courses. All right. So I think I finished my time. I thank you for your attendance and all your questions. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Mr. Aloysius Tong, for the great sharing and insights. We have come to the end of this session. Thank you all for attending. We'd love to hear some of your feedbacks. So you'll be provided with a survey right after this session, and to give us some of your valuable feedback. Thank you once again for joining us, and continue to enjoy the rest of the session today. Thank you. Yes.